Removed Congresswoman Liz Cheney from their leadership team. The vote took only about 20 minutes. Her removal as the third-ranking Republican was expected following her repeated criticism of former President Trump.
Cheney is expected to be replaced by New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, a vocal supporter of President Trump. And joining us now live to talk about all of this is Donna Crane, who is a political science lecturer at San Jose State University. Thank you so much for joining us here on KRON 4.
Great to be here.
So we kind of knew that this was going to happen today, that they were going to vote Liz Cheney out. What's your reaction?
I have several reactions. The first is that this is a party that seems to have decided that it can't win with Donald Trump, but it also can't win without him. The party is sort of hostage to the Trump supporters that are primary voters in their districts. They specifically drew districts that were Republican leaning, and now they can't win with moderate voters. So they absolutely must appeal to Trump's political base in order to stay in office. And that means apparently that from time to time they have to throw a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Donna, it seems like the majority of the party is tied to Trump. Liz Cheney keeps saying, I'm not going to continue to lie that the election was stolen, because that didn't happen. But 70% of Republicans, according to polls, believe that the election was stolen. So Liz Cheney, even though she may be speaking the truth, Republicans, for the most part, don't want to hear it.
That's absolutely right. And I think those are the data points that people like Kevin McCarthy are looking at. My understanding also from Republican friends on Capitol Hill is that McCarthy himself is worried about keeping his position. The Republicans are very likely to take back the House in the midterm elections, and that would make McCarthy Speaker. But his position is tenuous, I understand. And so it makes sense that he would, point at someone else to be the sacrificial lamb. And that's Liz Cheney in this case. I never would have thought that a member of the Cheney family, that they just have steel running through their veins, would be in this position. But there we have it. You don't get more conservative than her. They instead installed another woman who's a little more moderate, but is apparently willing to toe literally the party line.
Mm-hmm. So what does this say now about the Republican Party?
I think it's actually deeply depressing, regardless of what our own individual policy preferences might be. It's really important that we have at least two functional, healthy, vibrant parties in this country. We need the Republican Party back that was the party of ideas, that was making democratic ideas better and proposing ideas that were excellent on their own merits. And instead we have a party that just seems to be enforcing orthodoxy and playing some kind of brand of grievance politics. And that's actually really bad for democracy.
Refresh my memory, but I believe Lisa Murkowski, the Republican senator from Alaska, won her election as a write-in candidate because she was bumped out by a far-right Republican nominee for that seat. Could the same kind of thing happen in Wyoming with Liz Cheney? She's not going to be a Trump candidate when she runs for re-election, but no doubt the President Trump is he's going to be out to get her.
Yeah, I think that's entirely right. That's a really interesting question. So I think it seems all but certain that she's going to face primary opposition in 2022 for her own seat in Wyoming. My sense is she'll win that. If my memory is correct, in Wyoming, you don't need a majority, you just need a plurality to win. So unless her opponents get organized and back one candidate, she still is highly competitive in that seat. And one of the things I've noticed about Lisa Murkowski, and we studied this in one of my classes, is that after she won that write-in race against her own party, she became more powerful than ever, because you win a sort of immunity against your party leaders when you beat them once. So they better be a little careful. They might have just created a martyr here in Ms. Cheney.
Donna Crane, a political science lecturer at San Jose State University. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
In the race to NC California.